in the knowledge of the opulences. Vidhi, according to rules and regulations. Bhajana, worship. Kariya, doing. Vaikuntha Thake, to Vaikuntha. Yaya, they go. Chaturvidha, four kinds. Mukti, liberation. Pana, achieving. Translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. By performing such regulated devotional service in awe and veneration, one may go to Vaikuntha and attain the four kinds of liberation. 18. Sarsti Sarupya Ara Samipya Salokya Sayujanalaya Bhakta Yate Brahma Aikya. Sarsti Sarupya Ara Samipya Salokya Sayujanalaya Bhakta Yaya Brahma Aikya. Synonyms: Sarsti, opulences equal with the Lord's. Sarupya, the same form as the Lord's. Ara, and. Samipya, personal association with the Lord. Salokya, residence on a Vaikuntha planet. Sayuja, oneness with the Lord. Nalaya, they do not accept. Bhakta, devotees. Yate, sins. Brahma Aikya, oneness with Brahman. Translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. These liberations are sarasti, achieving opulences equal to those of the Lord. Sarupya, having a form the same as the Lord's. Samipya, living as a personal associate of the Lord. And Salokya, living on a Vaikuntha planet. Devotees never accept Sayuja, however, since that is oneness with Brahman. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Those engaged in devotional service according to the ritualistic principles mentioned in the scriptures attain these different kinds of liberation. But although such devotees can attain Sarsti, Sarupya, Samipya, and Salokya, they are not concerned with these liberations. For such devotees are satisfied only in rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. The fifth kind of liberation, Saujya, is never accepted even by devotees who perform only ritualistic worship. To attain Sayuja, or merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the aspiration of impersonalists. A devotee never cares for Sayuja liberation. ओम अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सागरललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वांछकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां Jagannatha Namo. Thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. So today we're discussing chapter 3, the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and today's two verses are 17 and 18. So essentially this verse is a very profound verse, a couple of verses. It talks about the process of liberation in terms of what do different devotees of the Lord do with the intent to do liberation. Liberation, as you know, is mukti. Mukti is you're in this world, you're suffering, and you want to get rid of this suffering by liberating yourself from this material world and going back to Godhead. But the question becomes, what are those four kinds of liberation and all those very detailed aspects is spoken by uh, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in these two verses. So, in this 17th verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, before explaining the types of liberation, talks about the process of devotional service in awe and reverence. When you end up doing, you go to Vaikuntha to get four kind of liberation: Aishwarya, Jnane Vidhi, Bhajana Karya. Bhajana means devotional service. Vaikuntha Thake, Yaya Chaturvidha Muktivaya. Means Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is talking about four kinds of liberation and setting the tone for the next verse. And what those four kinds of liberation? Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the next verse is saying, Sarsti. Sarsti means you liberate yourself with the intent of getting opulences equal with the Lord's. When in Ilachal, when um, when King Indradumya, on the onset of Queen Gundicha's desire to find Nilamadhava was there. So he went to this Nilachala place, uh, the Blue Mountains, and there he saw that the place is very beautiful. The place is so beautiful in the Satyuga. The place in Nilachal is so beautiful. He saw a bird falling down onto the river around this Nilachala temples where Nilamadhava is residing. He's about to get to Nilamadhava from where Lord Jaganath has appeared in Satyuga, in Skanda Purana references. Lord Jagannath is none other than Krishna. So he saw a bird getting into the river water and then going with the four-handed form, opulence equal with the Lord's. He gets liberated. The bird gets liberated in this pure place of Nilachala in the eastern part of India, and that is Sasti, which is getting liberated, getting the opulence with the four-handed form. A bird turns into a four-handed person and gets liberated. So that is the purity of the place and the devotional service you end up doing, and so on and so forth. Then the second kind of liberation, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, is Sarupya. Sarupya, the same form as the Lord, same form as the Lord. It's mentioned in Vaikuntha. The people who are serving the Lord they look very similar. They 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 have got sarupya. The rupa of what they have got is similar to the Lord. And then samipya. Samipya is the third form of liberation, where you do not have the opulence same as the Lord. You do not have the form as the Lord, but you are a personal association with the Lord. Jaya Vijay were the gatekeepers, and they were personal associates of the Lord. And there they did a mistake, and that's a different story. But the Samipya liberation is able to get personal association of the Lord, and people have desire to get personal association of the Lord, same form as the Lord, and opulence of the Lord. And then the fourth is Salokya. Salokya is you want to reside in the same loka. Salokya, residence on the planet. You want to reside. There are many lokas, right? You want to reside in the same loka where the Lord is residing. So these four, and then the fifth, which is a no for a devotee, which Srila Prabhupada has gone and spoken in many different purports, is sayuja, wherein you have so much of anarthas, you have so much of dirt, you have so much of your mind is not, and then you go and merge with the effulgence of the Lord, and that is really a no for a bhakti. Even with our this thing, we do achaman, we purify ourselves before even touching the Lord for a shringar, and that has to be supremely pure, and you have to have a chanting mindset wherein all this, and that should be the state of a devotee who is trying to do Sringar of the Lord, and just doing service at that level, touching. and the murti of the Lord is needs, and thinking about getting merged into the effulgence is actually unthinkable for a devotee, and and that is sayuja, and which um, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, even before Prabhupada, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Nalaya Bhakta. That means they do not accept, devotees do not accept Sayuja, liberation. And that is like merging oneness with the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. That is not recommended. So we're going to discuss some technicalities around that as to what these liberation mindset is. See, liberation is a very common thing now. People want liberation, people want moksha without truly understanding what liberation is. So, as we discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, also it is mentioned in third canto about these kinds of liberation. A pure devotee doesn't accept any kind of liberation. Salokyo, Sasti, Samipyo, Sarupyo, or Ektvava, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if it is given, the Lord, we are not selfish enough to really recognize that we want the same pedestal, same look and feel. That is not what a devotee think about. The Saloka liberation, as we discussed, is the kind of liberation where you reside in the same residence. Lord Krishna is simultaneously manifest in different spiritual forms, and all these forms are absolutely supreme. And to occupy special, unique spiritual planets, this kind of liberation, a devotee is promoted to one such planet where one may live with the Lord. The destination planet depends on the form of the Lord that is worshipped by the devotee. And there are many lokas, there is Shiva Loka, there is Vishnu Loka, and based on where the devotee is maintaining his thought and mind, can eventually transcend and get mukti in that loka. And if you and that's where you'll so the devotees of Lord Ram goes to Ayodhya loka, and likewise where there are different significant personalities are there. Lord Shiva is there in Shiva loka. You desire for a association with the moksha, you go to there. And then we also see the third type of liberation, where it's the sarist liberation. The opulence of the devotee becomes equal to the Supreme Lord. And when you talk about opulence, there is the six kind of opulence: beauty, wealth, strength, knowledge, and renunciation. You get all of that, but but what is the thing? I mean, your pious credits get over. You have to come down into the material world. And likewise, Samipya liberation is you want to stay in Samipya, as in close proximity of the Lord, and you are being a good associate of the Lord in this world, and then by virtue of doing that, you have desires, and then you live in that. And Sarupya is the fifth and final kind of liberation, where the devotee develops bodily features which are similar to the feature of the Lord. But the thing which we are unthinkable for devotee is the Sayuja Mukti, where we merge into the effulgence of the Lord. And this mental speculators, where they merge into the Brahma Jyoti of the Lord, they, as per Srila Prabhupada, are impersonalist or Shunyavadis, and they want to merge with the Lord Himself, which itself is unthinkable. So that kind of liberation is so for devotees, um, it's not fulfilling to liberate themselves. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions, "Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitanva jagadisha kame mama janmani janmaishvare bhavat bhakti ahetuki." So, for a devotee, we don't desire for any of these opulences. The devotees, they have a intent to serve the Lord by getting, and that's where our acharyas mentions Kaivalam narakayate. That means for for anyone who is trying to think of liberation is is an impersonalist quality, and it is like narakayate. That means it is like going to hell. It's considered hellish. So that is where we have to recognize some scriptural reference wherein it is mentioned in some of the Puranas that once Narad Muni was about to go to uh, meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that is where he was going to uh, meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and on the way he met a cobbler or a mochi who cleans and stitches shoes and leather, and and when Narad Muni was about to go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he asked cobbler on the way, I am going to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so what would I ask him to do on behalf of you? What kind of news you want to? He was constantly chanting the name of the Lord. He was doing bhajans and he was singing, and he was constantly meditated, even if he was cleaning the shoes and trying to stitch other people's shoes and cleaning it. But he was just constantly in meditation of the Lord by just singing, the bhajans and kirtans, and he was not into too much. And Narad Muni said, "Yes, I'm going to tell." The cobbler was inquiring, how long he is going to stay in this material world and when he's going to go back. And then Narad Muni on the way met a Brahman who was chanting hymns from the Vedas, and the Brahman was bit puffed up because he was cognizant of so many nice verses. And then when Narad Muni said, I'm going to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Brahman said, ask, how long I have to stay in this material world. So Narad Muni went to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narad Muni met to the upper planetary systems, met the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and then before Narad Muni could ask a question, the Lord smiled, and Narad Muni recognized that whatever questions Narad Muni had about the two individuals from the earthly planets is already Lord is aware of it. So when the Lord smiled and Narad Muni asked, how long cobbler is going to survive in this material world what's the plan for him? And the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, after this life, our Lord is going to come back. The cobbler is going to come back to me. And Narad Muni said, he is a cobbler. He's stitching leather and he's cleaning. He's like a Shudra. And when how can you make sure that he's good fit for the upper planetary systems to go back to Godhead? And the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, just tell the cobbler that I'm trying to insert an elephant into the needle hole of a needle, uh, and once you tell that I'm trying to do that, you'll recognize why he will come back to me after this life soon. And then Narad Muni asked the Supreme Personality of Godhead, "What about the Brahman?" Then Supreme Personality of Godhead said, uh, he will take a lot of lives to really come back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "You also tell that I'm trying to insert a big elephant into the needle hole to Brahman, and based on the answer, you'll know why he will." take a long time to come back to me. So Narad Muni went back and mm, he met the cobbler. Cobbler said, Narad Muni, Dandavat, you met the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What kind of plan he has for me? He says, yeah, when I went to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was trying to insert a big elephant inside the needle hole, and and hearing that, uh, hearing that, the cobbler said, cobbler had no surprise. Cobbler said, "That's absolutely fine." When Lord, when one of these huge banyan trees you see, and from the tree you have this little fruit which falls on the ground, and if you open that fruit, there are many seeds, and each of these seeds will go cross pollinate somewhere, and from the seeds and subseeds, huge banyan trees are going to come out. So, as the Lord has hidden this huge banyan tree inside this little seed or seedling of the banyan tree, if he can do that, he can definitely put an elephant inside the keyhole or the needle hole. Then Narad Muni recognized that this person has truly understood the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He doesn't need liberation. He is liberated by the consciousness in this life. Then Narad Muni went to the Brahman, and Brahman asked, how is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? How is he doing? The Narad Muni said, yeah, when I went and met the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was trying to insert an elephant inside the needle hole. And the Brahman said, no, that's not possible. How can it be possible? I don't think you saw it right. I don't think Lord can do that, because you see, its needle hole is a small hole, and the elephant is so huge, it's just not possible. Then Narad Muni recognized that this person has no faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's just seeking external gratification of liberation, and by just doing Vedas and chanting of mantras, he's trying to go back to Godhead. So the essence of this pastime, which is referred by many, is Lord's activities are unthinkable, and a devotee, by just serving, derives the kind of pleasure he or she needs to meditate, serve, and deriving blissful activities by just doing that. That's the reason why devotees do not seek for the kind of liberation we just explained in the five kinds of liberation, which Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is highlighting, and uh, and a has uh, devotee has no place for bhukti and mukti in his life. He only has bhakti in his life. So bhukti, as you know, is the process of sense enjoyment. The devotee, when he tries to do bhakti, he recognizes that that's a alert signal, and he resorts to not doing bhakti. And also at the same time, the devotee doesn't resort to mukti as well, because of the constant faith that by just serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is enough to lead lives and lives and lives, and not to get entangled in this expectation of liberation, liberation, liberation. So that is where we think about in the loving Dham of Vrindavan, there is no place of bhukti and mukti, because Krishna, there, if you see, if you hear one of the pastimes, Krishna was having headache and Narad Muni was around. Krishna was desperately looking for the dust of someone else. So when he was asked by Narad Muni to find some dust to calm the headache, Narad Muni went to the queens of Dwarka and seeking. Krishna is having severe headache, is killing him. If he's asking that if you can kindly give the lotus feet, all the headache will go away, and all the uh, queens, they said, how can we give the dust of the lotus feet of ours? We are insignificant. If we do that, how can we give it to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And we will never get mukti. So the seeking of mukti is in the minds of everybody, and that's the reason why that aspect of a human aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is unthinkable. That's why you go to some temples which are purely on a Shunyavadi or impersonalist platform. They don't give bhoga to the Lord. They don't dress change them. They don't do Sringar of the Lord. They give plastic garlands of the Lord. They're not like our way of giving 8 bhogas every day, or an ability of twice dress change every day in our temple, or a process of thinking that the Krishna is a person, Lord Jagannath is a person, Gauranga is a person, and they happen to be the supreme person. That's all. And that's the reason why there is that extra care. And whenever there is a winter, there is a heater beside the Lord, and whenever there is a summer, there is a rotating fan near the Lord, because Lord is a person. He gets the same headache, and that can only be understood by a bhakta, and nobody else can. And so when Narad Muni went to Vrajvasis and Gopis and sought for some dust, because Krishna's headache needs some medicine, and Krishna says, my headache can be cured by the dust of the uh, dust of a devotee. Then they didn't care. All the gopis, they just didn't care. They said, Krishna, he's having a headache. You're looking for dust of our feet. Come. They the went and called all the gopis, saying that Krishna is having headache. Krishna is having headache. He needs the dust. They never thought of anything. And Krishna's headache is the primary problem they have in hand. And if he needs the dust of the Lord, that so be it. So they gathered all the dust and gave it back to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni got it back, and Krishna got rid of the headache after getting the. So in Vrindavan and Raj, there's no place of bhukti and mukti. They don't care for liberation. A pure devotee of the Lord doesn't care for devolution. He just wants to serve, and serve irrespective of thinking that Krishna is so and so, Krishna is so and so. So these two pastimes should strengthen our faith. And I had one more pastime, which I'll save it for some other time. But but as for Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the liberation or the moksha, which is so sought after by many, is not properly understood by many people and many devotees, and that's the reason why they seek that constant enchantment of moksha, 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 without truly going into and understanding the commentary of our acharyas, who have recommended that bhukti and mukti have no place in bhakti. And that is exactly how we should consider our life, to constantly serve and constantly chant. And with that, we'll go back to Godhead. We don't have to seek for all these 5 kinds of moksha, which is absolutely not needed for a devotee. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving all these aspects of the uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's external appearance, yeah, as a preface to this verse, and soon he will establish Supreme Personality Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he and many places for that matter, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and merging with the effulgence of the Lord, it's so gross that devotees, they try to stay away, because Krishna is so beautiful, Krishna is so merciful, Krishna is so magnificent. There is absolutely no enthusiasm or interest for a devotee who has been, because we all know uh, how much anarthas we have in our heart and head, and trying to think that someday all these inaccuracies we have within us can be sort of settled by just we merging with the Lord is actually a fake deal. If you haven't done well, you have not studied, and you want to score 100%, it's like foolishness. It's like cheating propensity. Kaivalya narakayate. That's what our Acharya says. Kaivalya means moksha or liberation. Is narakayate. It's like going to hell for a pure devotee of the Lord. So we can discuss more deep concepts, but with that, I'd like to end here by uh, seeking or like to hear from all of you as to, do you still consider liberation as described in various different Puranas as something as bhaktas we should aspire, or we are better off serving the Lord in whatever capacity we can and giving happiness to the Lord that we have served? And when we serve, Krishna will look at us and will smile. And that is the ultimate goal of many devotees from our movement and parampara. Should it be that way, or we really want to liberate ourselves? Because make no mistake, after you liberate yourself, there is no reason after your pious credits get over. You may have escaped from this world, but you'll come back, and this punarapi maranam punarapi janmam will continue. And so keep serving the Lord, and that's exactly what our acharyas have mentioned. And with that, seeing Krishna happy, Krishna Srimati Radharani happy, Krishna seeing Jagannath Baladev Subhadramaya happy, or seeing Gauranitai happy, we derive pleasure during his appearance day, or seeing Ramji happy on his appearance day coming up this Sunday. We feel that we have served the Supremes. Look at how much Hanumanji was deriving pleasure serving Lam. If we get 1% of that, our life will be sublime. So with that, I'd like to end here. Want to discuss some other contextual things on the similar lines. Thank you for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments, any reflections you have?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for wonderful pastimes you mentioned. Yeah, you are asking about the liberation. Like devotees, they don't need liberation because we feel like already liberated. Liberation means we are having that Sayujya, Samipya, Salokya, right? Means if we are having our deities at home, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maya, or Radha Sham Sundar, or Gaur Nitai, so we are always thinking for them. So always we are with them, right? Or association of devotees. So it is kind of liberation only. What we get after liberation, we'll serve there, or we'll dance with them, we'll have prasadam together. So this is also kind of liberation. That's why maybe devotees, they don't need liberation. They are already in liberation state, right? So
Mhm.
just I was just meditating, like when you said, like we can talk about like liberation. So I feel like that, like this is liberation. What else we need, Prabhuji? We have so wonderful association, such nice congregation, and so many festivals. Always having something in our mind, like our Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja is coming, so we're planning for that. Or Ram Janma is coming, Ram Navami. Then again, every week something is there, like so. Is continuously we are in the association of Krishna. So I think it is liberation only.
Very nice. Yes, that's the mindset of participating, my mindset of serving, mindset of serving, whether at home or outside, as and in temple, as Mataji mentioned. That itself is so liberating. You don't need, to engulf in the, Brahma Jyoti of the Lord, because that itself is so blissful, and it is a permanent medication for all of us. So we don't need, rightly said, because our minds are so focused. Mind is very difficult to control, as Arjuna mentions. But still, with so many activities, with so many classes, the 3-day class which was there about Hanuman Ki Ram by Lal Govind Prabhu, and so many beautiful events, classes. Our life would have been very challenging if we wouldn't have been here. At least now we are focused on, serving, basically arousing that sense of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which was in dormant state. Our default setting was that we are Jiber Swarupa Krishna Nityadas, but that default setting is awakened by this process of bhakti. So constantly keeping that going, as Mataji mentioned, is a full-time liberating thing, and never ever miss the association of devotees, because once devotees go to different parts in Midwest and all, they have told us how difficult it is, how New Jersey as a congregation was, and how closely they were knit, and they are now in Nevada or somewhere, or for that matter, Omaha, or some of the devotees from here have left and gone there for work and all because the job took them, and they just miss the association, and they're yearning for the association. They'll meet during this this Kirtan festival, Sadhu Sangha festival, and they will all refer to the same thing as to how much they miss the New Jersey congregation. So make the most of it, and liberate by serving with the Lord. Thank you, Mataji, for your comments.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other comments?
Prabhuji, you gave an example of the bird for a Shastri liberation.
Yes. So, yes, Mataji. So I was referring to the pastime of Nilachala Hill. So we had, you might have heard about the pastime of Lord Jaganath, how Lord Jaganath appeared from Nilamadhava. So what happened, Mataji, is uh, Indradumna was the king of Malwa, which is the current Madhya Pradesh, and Gundicha Maharani is his wife. So in their dreams, they had no child. In their dreams, it came that Nilamadhava, Krishna, is in Nilachala hills. So King Indradumna came and saw that the Nilachala hills, uh, well, I may have misspoken here. So he sends an emissary called Vidyapati, and Vidyapati came to this place where it's a beautiful mountainous place, and there is a lake, and inside the lake, a bird falls down, means he's about to leave his body. And then I'm talking about Satya Yuga. And then he emerges as a four-handed Vishnu Dut and goes back to Godhead in front of his eyes. So this is like getting the form of the Lord. You see the four-handed form of the Lord, which this bird got transformed to when he got liberated. Because this place is so pious, and then eventually, it will take a full 2 hours to how Gundicha Maharani and Indradumna through Vidyapati, they find this Shabara king, Vishwavasu, and they got married together. And from there, how Lord's logs appeared, and from this ocean, and how they made it, how the unfinished deities of Lord Jagannath emerged. It's a long year, but the point I'm trying to make is the purity of a place also makes liberation easy. In Satya Yuga, the liberations were very significant, and so on and so forth. So, in that place, a bird could just take the form of a Vishnudut, 400 form, and go back to Godhead. That's what I was referring to.
Is this mentioned in the Bhagavatam?
It's mentioned in Skanda Purana. It's in Skanda Purana, Mataji, there's a section called Utkala. There are many Puranas, all are written by Vasudev thousands of years ago. So in Skanda Purana, there is a mention of that. And actually, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are many references to these pastimes, indirect references to these pastime about Jagannath Puri in Chaitanya Charitamrita. But to answer your question, it's not in Bhagavad Purana, but it's in Skanda Purana. There is a area section called Utkala Khanda, and all this discussion I'm referring to is there. And actually, there is a book by our Acharya, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, where there are references to that. Okay, Maharaj?
Okay.
And there are many other books actually. We'll have our Rath Yatra Shravan festival when devotees will talk about uh, you know uh, if appearance of Lord Jagannath. The devotees will refer to some of these beautiful pastimes, and in our temple YouTube channel also there are historically devotees have come and have spoken about the appearance of Lord Jagannath in. There are two appearances of Lord Jagannath, Mataji, as you are talking on this subject. One is the Satyuga pastime, which happened with Indradumna, Gundicha, um,
And
Vidyapati.
one Rohini Mata is telling the story.
The second one is Dwapariga, where Rohini Mata at the doorstep, keeping Subhadra Mai, is telling the story to the queens of Lord Krishna, and
Gopis.
Krishna and Balram are in the Sudharma hall attending the assembly and doing the administration. And saying that if I tell this story and Krishna and Balram hears, they will just be, you know, they will be spellbound. So they cannot sustain this. These are so powerful stories of Gopas and Gopis and Krishna and Balram that they cannot hear it. So
This is a Dwapar Yug story.
that is a Dwapar Yug pastime, where hearing the story, Subhadramai started crying, and then Krishna and Balram comes up and he hears the story. Rohini Mata is speaking, and their hands shrunk, their eyes, crying eyes, become big, and they're a red color, and eyes big, hands shrunk. And seeing the both brothers, Subhadramai also shrunk, and at the time, Narad Muni appears and he says, "This form of the Lord, where your hands are shrunk and you're in total ecstasy in separation of gopis and Radharani. I want to see that." And there Krishna says, "I will appear in Nilachal Dham as Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in this form." And that's another pastime of this.
So we celebrate Jagannath Puri's which birth, the Dwapar Yug or other one?
See, Lord Jagannath is born on Snan Yatra day, and Snan Yatra is the appearance day of the Lord. So we bathe the Lord in the Snan Yatra day, and that Snan Yatra day, during the time of Rath Yatra, there will be a nice Yagya Narayan Vesh of the Lord, where from the Yagya, you'll see Mother Subhadra, Krishna, Balram, Jagannath appearing, and in the sides, one will be Indradumna and one will be Narad Muni, Brahmaji, who are doing the inauguration. That pastime is actually from Satya Yuga. So that is one pastime. We do Snan Yatra, which is the appearance day of the Lord. And also we do Rath Yatra, where we take Lord for a parade. And then we have Bahuda Yatra, where Lord returns back from Queen Gundicha Maharani's house after staying there 7 days, doing the Bahuda Yatra or the Ulta Rath or the Return Yatra. So Mataji, we celebrate all of them. No, our mood to celebrate Rath Yatra is in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you have seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing in front of the chariot, as to serve basically. And we are not ritualistic in that sense that it has to be this, and we are very much bhakti yogis trying to celebrate the higher meaning of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood in celebrating Lord Jagannath festivals of Snana Yatra, Rath Yatra, Bahuda Yatra.
So Lord Jagannath does not mention in Bhagavatam.
Lord Jagannath, Lord Jagannath's reference is not in there in Bhagavatam, but Srila Prabhupada in his purports have mentioned Lord Jagannath and Jagannath Puri many times in Bhagavatam.
And do we have any example of Salokya, Samipya in Bhagavatam story that who got liberated like this.
Yes, we have references, Mataji, and we can definitely discuss that. I'll try to gather it for another class about each of these liberations. And there are personalities who have done that. Getting the same look, getting the same co-locality where Lord's resides, and all of them are there. We have examples, Mataji. Any other comments, questions, reflections?
It's a nice class, Prabhuji. You explain very well.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for always attentively hearing. Any other comments, reflections? So if there are no questions, any final comments about today's discussion?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I remember like Shishupal he got like Sayuja Mukti, right? When in that Sabha, Yudhishthir Maharaj Sabha, he just said like 100. He crossed that 100 number, and then
Hmm.
Krishna cut his head and he got Sayuja Mukti, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, you must have read it for that context. He fulfilled that, and he got the liberation. Yes, definitely, Vadaji. I don't want to speculate, but if you have heard it, it must have been right. And there are each of these liberations have our acharyas have mentioned, given examples actually. So it's just a matter of sort of unearthing that and trying to put that in context. I don't have exactly who got liberated by what, but there are examples, Mataji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, today is appearance day of Ramanujacharya.
Yeah, today is appearance day of Ramanujacharya.
Yes, Ramanujacharya is uh, uh, is our Sri Sampradaya head. Didn't Namananda Prabhu mention anywhere? He generally sends the message, right? Yeah, you're right. Yes, Ramanujacharya is our Sri Sampradaya founder Acharya. Like we are followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Likewise, Ramanujacharya is the bona fide Sampradaya, Sri Sampradaya. And Ramanujacharya's heroism is unthinkable, actually. If anybody would like to speak and glorify Ramanujacharya, we would like to hear it. But he has done so much of work in a times where impersonalism was on the rise, and how he went and spread Krishna consciousness, and how much impact he has on the scriptural references, and uh, and if you have gone to uh, Sri Rangam, you'd experience it. And Sri Rangam is a beautiful place near Trichy, Tamil Nadu. Uh, did anybody go there, Sri Rangam?
Just we saw pictures like Sri Ranga, but we heard about that.
Hmm.
Ramanujacharya Prabhuji, I heard in Lalgon Prabhuji's Katha, like Ram Anuja means he is like Lakshman, means
Hmm.
Ananta Shesh, right? He is
Hmm.
the incarnation of that, and he got Diksha from Emunacharya.
Hmm.
And what he gave the values like bhakti, ananya bhakti, like how Mirabai was having, Mero to Girdhar Gopal, dusra na koi, like that. Just sticking to that one, right? Ananya bhakti for Krishna. And one more thing, like serving devotees. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took two things from different sampradayas, right? We have Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, and like uh, which one? Kumar Sampradaya. So two things Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took from that sampradaya, like Shri Sampradaya, where who were like Acharya was Ramanujacharya, and he did such a wonderful thing, like for Vaishnavas, and he gave the like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Achinta Bheda Bhed, like he gave Vishishta, like what there is a one word, like if
Visishta Advaita.
Advaita,
Visishta
yeah.
Advaita.
Like if there is a tree and there is one green color parrot in that tree, and it is oneness, but he is distinct. Like yeah, so that he has given to whole world.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's a beautiful pastimes about Ramanujacharya. So,
definitely.
yeah.
Mataji, one Mataji talk about Visishta Advaita. You want to come and discuss little bit about glorifying Ramanujacharya on his appearance day?
It was me, Prabhuji. I know a little, but not enough to speak in such a forum. I'm
No,
not.
no, please go ahead, Mataji. Today is very powerful day.
Excuse me, Prabhuji. I can't.
Okay,
Mataji,
okay.
you are from that place, you can speak. Okay,
Yeah,
Mat. Whatever you know, you can tell.
yeah. Yeah, but all I want to say is, Prabhuji Mataji, if you get an opportunity, you should go and see Sri Rangam. Beautiful place. In the midst, you see how Vaishnavism is flourishing there amidst, a lot of other um, uh, lineage. It's amazing. And big elephants are there, huge temple, even a tall temple. And if you go around the premises, on the corner around the temple, there is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally went there, and he has his personal deities of Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra in just in the outside road. There is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu temple where there is beautiful Lord Jagannath there. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to go there and has so many wonderful pastimes around that place. So how much he revered Ramanujacharya, you could understand.
Also, Prabhuji, while making garland, we used to discuss, like Padmamukhi Mataji is in the call. She used to tell me about Ramanujacharya. Always we were talking. So, Padmamukhi Mataji, you can just tell us about Ramanujacharya.
Yes, if you want to unmute Mataji and speak, please go ahead. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Hare
Yes,
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
that one.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. I just came back from work, so I apologize for the delay. Yes, Prabhuji, I know today was Ramanujacharya's appearance day, and yes, thank you, Satyabhama Mataji, for bringing back all those memories of our discussions and Krishna Katha. I don't know where to start, but one thing that really like made me very what to say devoted, I should say, to Ramanujacharya, and which eventually led me to Prabhupada, was his pastime in the temple of Tirukoshtiyur. There is a wonderful dham in south of India, where one of his acharyas had given him the mantra, and also he had taught him the meaning of the Charama Shloka of Bhagavad Gita, and also the 18th chapter, the 66th verse, and also of several other secrets. And he made him come 18 times to teach him. He didn't give it to him right away. He made Ramanujacharya travel 18 times from Srirangam to Tirukoshtiyur by foot, and he did it. He never gave him the meaning first time, but he wanted to learn from him, so he walked And the wonderful thing is when he used to come into that dham and he saw the Acharya's house, he would prostrate the whole way to go to the house. He was that eager, that humble, and that determined, and so compassionate. And eventually, after 18 times, when he said, like, okay, now I think you're humble enough to learn everything, he taught him all those meanings. And he also warned him that just as I have tested you so many times, you should never ever explain everything to anybody and everybody. You should actually test your disciple, and only to the deserving disciple you should tell these mantra, or the you should pass on this knowledge. But
Mhm.
Ramanujacharya immediately went to the temple there. It's a wonderful temple there, the Sauminarayana temple, I think, and he goes to the top of the temple where there is a empty open space kind of thing, and he goes and announces to the whole place that whoever wants to surrender, whoever wants to learn the art of devotion to God, you please come to me, I will teach you how to do it. And somebody tells the guru immediately that he did this, so he very angrily he comes to the temple and tells him, I just warned you and you disobeyed your acharya, so you will actually go to hell, do you know that? And Ramanujacharya falls at the Guru's feet and says, yes, I know I'm going to go to hell because I disobeyed you. But if by just me going to hell, this whole town or all these people will go to Vaikuntha, then I will go to hell happily. And so the Guru at that time embraces him and said, why didn't I think like this? So you are, that's why he gives him the title of Emperumanar, which means, are you the Lord himself? You are my Lord. So that's how they call him in the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. He's called Emperumanar. That means you are my Lord. So I think Prabhupada quotes this many times
Yes,
of
sir.
like, there is no restriction for anybody to learn about. And if you think that in this Kali, we have to test somebody to give, the holy name or the path of bhakti, then nobody will be qualified if they keep testing.
Mhm.
So he said that nobody should be held back. It is the right of every living entity to serve the Lord, basically, and to go back.
Thank
So
you, sir.
that is a very wonderful pastime of Ramanujacharya.
This is amazing.
That guru is known as Goshti Purna Mataji.
Yeah, Goshti Purna Prabhuji, yes.
It is that
Tirukoshti Nambi, yes.
Tirkushti or that's a different person, right? Goshti Purna Tirukoti or Nambigal, right? Tirukoti or Nambigal.
There are different Prabhu. There is
Yeah.
Tirukachi Nambi, which is who's another acharya.
Tirukanchi Nambi, yeah, Tirukoti or yeah.
Yes, Tirukachi is different, and he's Koshti Purna.
Is
Yes,
Goshti.
yes, yes.
Yes.
There is also another very wonderful pastime of Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya was used to visit the Varadaraja temple, the Varadaraja temple. That's in Kanchi. So there is a devotee called Nambigal, that Tirukoti or Nambigal, who was a very servant of the Lord, and he was always served the Varadaraja. Varadaraja means one who gives the benedictions, the boons, and this Nambigal was very much close to that, very much dedicated to the service of Varadaraja. And then every day this Nambigal fanned the Lord. That was his service. And eventually, because of his service, the Lord started to speak to him. And everywhere it came to know that this Tirupati Nambigal is speaking to the Lord. So every day when this Nambigal start the service, then Lord start to speak. Okay, what is the news in the town? How is it everything? And so Nambigal start to speak. Okay, this person, daughter get married. This person went away, and this person did that. So Lord was very eager to listen all those things from Nambigal, and this has become very famous. And also, one time, Ramanujacharya came there, and Ramanujacharya had a doubt in his mind. So there were 6 doubts actually in his mind. Ramanujacharya had. Ramanujacharya mentioned to Nambigal that I had some doubts in my mind. So just tell to the Lord that I have this doubts in my mind, and could you please clarify these things? So Then then Nambigal went, and then without even saying or without even saying anything to the Lord then replied to Nambigal, and just go and tell to Ramanujacharya that this is the answers for your the question. So there were six kind of questions there were like in the mind of Ramanujacharya. The one was actually, of course, this Vishishta Advaita, the Advaitavad that is clarified there. The Lord Himself clarified there that the one is actually, yes, the individual soul and the super soul are different. So individual soul is, serves the Lordships. So the Lord clarified that. Another question had, Ramanjaji had in his mind that. So Lord said in the Bhagavad Gita that Ardhakale cha mameva smaran mukta kalevaram saprayadi samadbhava nayadi yatra samsheha. At the time of over, at the time of death, remembers me, and then definitely there is no doubt that they will come to me. So then Ramanujari had a doubt like this. So what about devotees? Devotees needs to also remember the Lord at the time of death. So this is devotees always, there, but devotees should explicitly do this. So then this was also answered. Ambigal came and told Ramanujacharya this was that yes, maybe everybody else, those who are not devotees, they may, if they remember the Lord at the time of death, then Lord, they will attain the Lord. But for the devotees, you don't need to worry about that part of it, but Lord will remember the devotees at the time of the devotees, passing away. So this was, then revealed to Ramanujacharya like this. So like that, the six doubts were there that clarified that part of it. And then also, if you go to Srirangam, you can see that it's almost 1,000 years are over. The same original body of Sri Ramanujacharya is put in Samadhi in Srirangam, and they preserve that original body there itself since that time itself in Srirangam about Ramanujacharya. And yeah, so there are many of likes that when Yamunacharya was passing away, the Ramanujacharya was not there. So Yamunacharya wanted Ramanujacharya to be succeed the entire monastery, because of as soon as Yamunacharya met Ramanujacharya, then decided that this would be my successor to take care of this entire monastery. Then Yamunacharya sent the people to bring Ramanujacharya, but couldn't reach. After 3 days only, that Ramanujacharya reached to the. And by the time, it was everything was about to put the samadhi of Yamunacharya. Yamunacharya's fingers were like like closed, like this is closed like this. 3 fingers were closed like this. So everybody was worried why it is like this. And then when you put samadhi, it should be all very proper. And then Ramanujacharya understood that what is this the sign of these 3 fingers were just crossed like that. So then Ramanujacharya openly started to speak that I would completely follow the teachings of Yamunacharya, and then declared it boldly to everyone. So then immediately that one finger then became straight. And again mentioned that I would dedicate entire my life to propagate and write the paribhasha, describe the Yamunacharya's teaching to all world. Then the second finger was also then straightened up. Then one more was there. Yeah, I forgot about that. So then
he declared he will make Brahma Sutras available to
everyone. Yeah, so likes that. So this mentioned that. Then the third one also then straight up. So everybody was so astonished to just to see that. They all declared that yes, you would be the the next. But Yamanacharya then went back because of that disappointment, because of couldn't talk to Yamanacharya. Then went back and then came back much later and then started. And that's the time even that Yamanacharya gave the darshan to Ramanujacharya. So the entire life of Ramanujacharya is very, very powerful, very wonderful, and even many sannyasi, many acharyas quotes Yamanacharyas that and also follow the teachings of how to worship the Lord and proper Vaishnava etiquette and this Pondish and then monastery. The entire monastery started after that, and still they follow the same teachings of Yamanacharya. And I think it was 1,000 years. I think last year or something that just passed, right? And Ramanujacharya's, I think,
Yes, Prabhuji. I think 1017 he was born, so I think
yeah,
2017 was his
2017 or something.
1000th.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Also, I think government of India also, I think that published a stamp, I believe, the on behalf or coin or stamp, something like that. Yeah, it's a great, if you go through the teachings and the life story of Ramanujacharya is amazing. It's very, very wonderful.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing this. And I just want to add, I was having some conversation about some things with His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, and we had a 1 hour conversation. He emphasized this pastime which Mataji mentioned, and that he went to a open area or a hilltop, I think, where he told that mantra to everyone. And the point over there, Maharaj was mentioning, is our methods and processes are driven a lot by our acharyas. Krishna said, "Surrender unto me," but didn't tell how. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had to come and share. Likewise, every step of the way in terms of how we should celebrate Janmashtami, Rath Yatra, Gaur Purnima, or whatever. Quite a lot of the application of the principles have been shared, and always Maharaj in that situation gave the example of that Ramanujacharya's episode, where uh, we need a teacher in every step of the way, and Ramanujacharya embodies that, and that's why our faith in our acharyas should be very strong, and Ramanujacharya exemplifies that in every step of the way. Some of the pastimes, some of the activities he did. So on this day, when we are glorifying a pure Vaishnava like Ramanujacharya, we should uh, take that tenet of reposing faith in our gurus and acharyas more, because that is a foundation. Krishna said so many things, but the application of those things into our lives and implementation of it is dictated by such powerful acharyas. Otherwise, it's not easy to channelize and message the Supreme Personality of Godhead's work into actions in this minuscule life. So, Ramanujacharya is a true Acharya in that sense, and rightly Prabhupada has quoted, and many of our ISKCON Acharyas quote Ramanujacharya in various different lectures. So, and Ramanujacharya's life can be made into a heroic film, actually, as to how he just dominated the spiritual landscape is unthinkable. That's a comment I was discussing with another, uh, you know, spiritual cousin brother, and I think his life is full of uniqueness, his beautiful effulgence, and all the qualities. And if you go to the temple of Srirangam, we had the good fortune. It's a beautiful temple with beautiful people around. The people who are very nice, very conscious. So everybody should go to Srirangam, in my opinion. Okay, so let's end here, Prabhu. if
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah, thank you. That's good. So, thank you, dear devotees. Today is also, as mentioned, is the auspicious day of Ramanujacharya's appearance day. We are meditating on, and it's mainly that what we can imbibe in our life from these teachings of these great acharyas, how they dedicated the teachings, and so we should listen to and meditate on and imbibe in our life, so that we will make progress, and their mercy also, come to us. So thank you so much. So this Sunday is Ramanavami, so we'll be celebrating at the temple. There'll be a few programs. There'll be, Arati and Pada, especially, plus there'll be Pushpa Abhishek on Lord Ram's, DT. Plus there'll be some presentations, some dance, cultural programs starting at 4:30 this Sunday, on this coming Sunday, April 6th. And also, we are inviting and requesting all of you, please bring some bhoga for the lordships. And as per the ISKCON standards, we can offer that to the lordships as well. And also, in any way that you can sponsor or something, flower or the dress or the bhoga, especially Ramanavami Day. And we are also expecting quite a lot of people, more than the Sunday feast crowd. So please help in cooking or whatever the way. We need some help in cooking. If you can join on this Sunday by 2:00, that'd be great. Okay. Okay, so let's conclude that today's class. Thank you so much. Hema Jaganath Prabhu. Let's pray together. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha Adidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki
Yeah.
jai. Nara Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay.
The Gaudiya Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.
Thank you, Jaganath.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.